Shalom, praise the Lord, gloria a Dios. As usual, I always come up with something new. And the title of the video will be, My Father Wants, I Build the House for Him. I am the one to build the house. As I always tell you that I am the Moshiach. I am the Shiloh. I am the branch. I am the anointed one. I am the Daniel from the dead, and I am the second son of King David, from his blood and flesh, from his own loin, from his own seed. And all those things today I'm going to prove it to you through my brother Solomon. Because since a lot of rabbis been telling you that the Moshiach will be the descendant of Solomon. It's going to come out from the Solomon. But no, he is not from the Solomon, but he is from the King David. He will be from his own blood and flesh, from his own loin and his own seed. So Solomon, even though his blood and flesh and seed, God actually never promised him that you the one to build my house. Now, King David had a desire in his heart to build the house temple, and that was good enough for the father. The God decided that since he had that desire in his heart, he loved him, and he told him also that you're not the one to build, but one of your own son, one of your own blood and flesh. From the 2 Samuel 7:13, or you can go to the 1 Chronicles 7 and 1 Chronicle 22, and you read that one, and you will understand that God promised King David, not the Solomon. But since King David had everything ready, God said, okay, let Solomon build the temple. But God didn't come in the picture till his father, King David, decided to let him build the temple. Now remember, in the whole Torah, let me tell you, if anybody is more sinner that you all think of, it's Solomon. Solomon had seen the most thing that in God's eyes. God can forgive everything, each and everything you do wrong. You know that what King David did. King David killed somebody. King David took somebody's wife. King David had problems internally in his family with his children, and God still forgave him. God had forgiven him because he still obeyed. There is the one commandment. There is a one commandment. It's continue to end up in 10 commandments. If you fail the first commandment, you fail all the commandments. Now, King David didn't fail the first commandment. The first commandment, I am your God. I am your God, and you do not worship any God. The second one, do not make any idols. Now, he never did that, but he commit adultery, he commit murder, he probably lie, probably cheat, who knows? He probably took over somebody's land, he coveted the neighbor's wife. We don't know, but there are so many things that you can see that he did wrong by coveting the neighbor wife, because she was taking Bathsheba. You know that. Now, all those things, God forgive him. Only reason, the first commandment, that he always worshiped the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He never had any idols. He was carrying the Ark of the Covenant, always with him. In fact, he had in his own tent. But what Solomon did, he rejected everything what his father did. The honor the father and mother. Remember, his father first told him that, look, you can build the temple for the God, but Remember, follow all those commandments and obey him. He told first before the God told him. When God came to Solomon, remember, God came twice to the Solomon. When Solomon was finished with the temple, he came to him and he said, I will dwell in this house. But then, if you read the first King, chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, please read. If you want, I can read those, but it will be too long chapters to read for you, but I may read few of those. So God have told King David that, okay, excuse me, you have built the house for me now, but if you do not obey my commandments and if you do not walk the way your father did, I will take away this kingdom from you. I will give it to some stranger, but I will not take all those things while you were living. Remember, Solomon did lot of evil thing in God's eyes. God have told him, first of all, not to worship any gods. In chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, in the King chapter, if you read, God had told him, literally after he built the temple, that do not worship, because when you worship the other god, or do not intermarry. First thing he said, do not intermarry, because they will bring their own gods and they will gonna make you worship them. And those are the things Solomon did. So what Solomon did? He didn't obey any commandment, because when he brings the idols and start worshiping other gods, the first commandment he broke. The second commandment is the idol. He bring the idol and he made a temples for those wives. Those foreign wives, he built for them the temples where they can worship their own God, and he was going with them. The third one was, do not use his name in vain. But when you do not have your God, of course you are using his name in the vain. The fourth commandment is keep the Shabbat. Now you following their gods, you're never going to be able to keep the Shabbat. The fifth is honor your parent. The first thing he did is disobey his father, because his father told him, son, make sure you follow all the commandments. But what he did? First thing he did, that worshipping the idols. Then the 6 commandments, do not kill, do not steal, do not commit adultery. Now, all those things, you're going to do it because you are intermarried. You have 700 wives and 300 combined, which is 1,000. Out of 1,000 you're going to have, I don't know what else he have done. I'm sure he did coming adultery, killing, stealing, because now with 1,000 women you need that kind of money also, then the power. So obviously you can see he probably also coveted the neighbor's wife, and also he probably steal the land of the neighbors. All those things probably he had done that we don't know in this book, but he is the biggest sinner than anybody else, that God took away and also God told him that if you do not obey, he will destroy this even temple, that there won't be no temple, and he will move away from there. All those things happened because of him, not because of King David, not because of King Saul. Even the Saul, God said to King David that the way I took away the spirit from him, I would not take away from your son. Your son will be my son, and I will be his father. He is the one to build the temple. Now let me tell you the 3 things between the King David, the Solomon, and me. Solomon knew that he did not have to worship any idols or any other god. On the other side, King David already knew it, and he didn't do it. He didn't worship any idols or worship any other god. In my case, I was worshipping all the gods of the earth. I may have 50, 60 idols in my closet and I was worshipping. But the day he came and he told me to destroy everything, I took everything, put in the garbage, and I haven't seen those idols, or I don't even go down to them, or I don't go to any of the Indian temples. That's what God liked. The only thing about me, if the God likes right now, that I listen to him and I obeyed him. I took those by all the idols and threw it in the garbage. And since that day, he knows that I am his son. He knew it from the beginning. And that's why his desire is to build his house through me. He has given me that opportunity to build that house. Without that house, Israel will be continuously in the problem. If you remember what Solomon did, Solomon built the temple, and remember his prayer. You need to read those prayers, that each and every prayer about the what if anything happened to Israel or the family or any occasions that anybody tried to devour the Israel. He has a prayer for everything. And if anybody looks at the temple and asks, he will listen. The God will listen. But when he broke all those commandments, when he didn't walk in the line of the way his father did, God took away everything from him. Remember, God promised him that I will take all the tribes away from you, not from you, but from your son, and I will give him only one tribe, which is Benjamin. Everybody else is gone. And the trouble started. They all moved from places to places, as you read on the King chapter, and you will understand. But my main object today is to build the temple. Till you do not build the temple, till you do not come to me and we do not build the temple. Listen, it's not easy for me. It's not easy. This message came last night when I was in my swimming pool and I meditate, and God spoke to me, and I said, give me something that they can understand. That if they do not build the temple, he told me, all those things that Solomon prayed. Remember, God came twice to the Solomon. One when he built and he blessed him. And the second thing when he was asking and God gave him a wisdom. He asked, when God asked him, what do you want? And he said, give me the wisdom. With the wisdom come the wealth. And he got the wisdom and the wealth together. But he misused and he spiraled down his entire life in the end of the life. But God didn't stop over there, because God had promised the King David his own son, blood and flesh, will come back. If God wanted Solomon to be that person as a temple, that temple never be destroyed. God knew everything from the beginning. Why? God in fact told him that if you disobedient to me, this temple will be desolate. And that's what exactly happened. The Solomon temple was desolate for his own sin. But God didn't stop, because of the promise he made to the King David, and he has brought me back to you. I am your Moshiach. I am the one to build the temple. Listen, all the rabbis, I don't care who you are, what you are. Okay, you listen to my videos and understand who I am, because one day you all gonna have to come to me, and that day I will remember you. Remember, it's not that I'm not watching you. I'm watching you. Each and every video I'm watching you. What you all doing? But at this point, as he forgives me, I'm going to forgive you all too. But more you delay, more you telling wrong thing, to the people, you all will pay the price on the judgment day. Remember, you all have to come front of him. Front of who? Front of me. Remember, you're going to have to come front of the Son before the Father. So the time is near. Time is near. Think about it, what I'm telling you. Everything is written. Let me read a few of those things if you like what the Solomon prayer was. Let's see. I think so it's chapter 8, and over here on the 8, praise to be the Lord of the God of Israel, who with his own hand has fulfilled what he promised with his own mouth to my father David. For he said, since the day I brought my people Israel out of Egypt, I have not chosen a city in any tribe of Israel to have a temple built for my name to be there, but I have chosen David to rule my people Israel. My father David had it in his heart to build a temple for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. But the Lord said to my father David, because it was in your heart to build a temple for my name, you did well to have this in your heart. Nevertheless, you are not one to build my temple, but your son, who is your own flesh and blood. He is the one who will build the temple for my name. He didn't use name Solomon. He could have just said, your son Solomon will build the house for me. But he didn't, because God knew it, that Solomon is going to be fall just like the soul. So, over here, the Lord has kept the promise he made. I have succeeded David, my father, and now I sit on the throne of Israel, just as the Lord promised. And I have built the temple for the name of the Lord of God, Israel. I have provided a place there for the ark, in which is the covenant of the Lord that he made with our father when he brought them out of Egypt. Now, look at the prayers of his. O Lord God of Israel, there is no God like you in heaven, above on earth below. You who keep your covenant of love with your servant, who continue wholeheartedly in your way. You have kept your promise to your servant David, my father, with your mouth. You have promised, and with your hand you have fulfilled it, as it is today. Now, Lord God, and if you go read on, and he will tell you the prayer for everything. And also on the same time, if you read, he will show you why God was upset and mad, and what he promised to King David. It wasn't the Solomon. And so the descendant of the Solomon was cut off. Because if I was worshipping idols, obviously my children will be worshipping the idols. And that's what exactly will happen. If I start worshipping idols today, my children's probably be following me. So it wasn't the Solomon descendant. It will be from the King David, blood and flesh. Now, again, I told you again and again, it's time. My time is getting past due. 5783, 5784 is coming. I told you 490 years been given. We are on 483. On the same time, 6,000 years has been given, and we are at the 5,783, which 210 years we already have done. So we are on the both sides. You can use any calendar you want. Hebrew calendar or other calendar, it's work out the same way. And as Moses took 80 years, it took me 23 years to understand myself also, because God was feeding me from the day he came in my life. Remember my testimony. I told you that Son of Man came in the cloud and rested upon me. He took my spirit, and he is right now interceding for the people up there. And I have his spirit, so he can do the work on the earth. As you know, on the Zechariah chapter 3, the two anointed two anointed one, I am sure the another one is still here somewhere, and we both will come to know each other very soon. So because remember the God of Abraham, Isaac is not the God of dead. He's a God of alive, the living. I bet you that maybe my father was King David. My earthly father who gave me the birth, he could be the King David. Because he is the God of the living, not the God of the dead. So I have a feeling that whatever he said, the Elijah will come, or Daniel will definitely going to come, because Daniel is me, because he is from the dead. God promised him, in the end of the days, you will come, rise again to receive your inheritance. And what was his inheritance? Was written in 7:9, 7:13. He will be in the throne. I mean, I can go from beginning to the end, wherever you want, to make you understand that God has chosen me, and it's time for us to get together, start building the temple. Till you do not build the temple, you're gonna suffer, because every petitions on the Solomon prayers is written. If the flood comes, if the disease comes, if the enemy comes, if anybody comes, and if you look and pray to that temple, he will listen to our prayer, and he will send his angels before we start doing anything to finish that problem. Now, without temple, you are facing a lot of problems. And it's coming. You know that what's going on in Israel is very terrible right now. House divided become doomed. Satan cast out Satan, his kingdom will be doomed. Rather than united, we are dividing each other. The whole Israel is divided. But on the same time, I tell you the truth, that the one is not with us, that never was with us. And they need to remove. It's just like, I think so, Solomon, in the King chapter somewhere, he said the foreigners will be the slave. If the foreigners do not get out, okay, let's see, if the Palestinians do not want to get out, do not want to move, and they want to stay with us, they can stay with us, but they will be slave. They will be slave even in this 21st century. Doesn't matter. God said that they will be live like a slave. Means they will be working under government. They will be working. I am not telling them as a rudeness wise that they are nothing to God. No. We all are children of God. But God have kept Jew and Gentile. He has kept Jewish people separate for him. He has mentioned from the beginning to the end, you are my possession, you are my chosen one. And I will bring you one by one from each and every country, each and every place on the earth you are. And you will be the beacon, you will be the light of the world. You will be the priest of the world. Everybody will come and worship at the Jerusalem, at the new temple, where my holy presence will be there. All those things is there. Now, again, also whatever is written in Zechariah and the Revelation chapter, that all day wage is glass of barley. Today's date, let me tell you, all over the world, out of 10 houses, if you pick 7 of them, do not have nothing in their refrigerator. It's like whole day wages, glass of barley. India stopped exporting rice. Russia and Ukraine stopped exporting grain. Then the Middle East stopped drilling the oil. I mean, all those things is a sign of whole day wages, glass of barley. Today's date, one of the biggest freight company in Texas, Yellow Freight Company, shut down completely. 30,000 employees laid off. Things are coming. People don't see that. Now 30,000 employees, with 30,000 employees, how many people are connected to those employees? Their family, their father, mother, who knows? So you're looking at about 150,000 people. They'd probably be getting no food pretty soon. All those things I have told you about the alien. I told you last year, I gave you my testimony. Aliens are real, but they're not here to harm us. When they took me, I was up there on that ship. They didn't hurt me. They didn't do anything wrong to me. So do most of the people, they are abducted. They always tell you, they haven't done anything wrong to us. If they wanted to do something wrong, they could have done it. But they are real. UFO is real. The ships are real. I told you that years ago. And I'm telling you still that, listen, everything is made through God. Even if the aliens are there, it has to be part of the God. They cannot be an evil spirit or devil. Unless unless the people will aggravate them and people will go against them, then it is possibilities that they will come to hurt us. But I am sure they're not going to hurt innocent people like the human beings are doing it. So, all those things are about to come. I am your Moshiach, and there is no other one. So if you all are waiting for your Moshiach now, like I said, Moshiach now, everybody, I am your Moshiach. There is no other one. It's either you, by faith, hasten me, or my Father will hasten me on time. But today's video, if you do not understand, then you're never going to understand me. Well, it took Moses 80 years to convince them. So, and then Moses was one of them. They knew that he is Jew. In my case, they're having a hard time because they think I'm an Indian and I'm Hindu. Hindu are not Jew. But they do not understand that Hinduism is 6,000 years old. Judaism is 3,500 years old. Christianity is 2,500 years old. And then the Muslim 1,500 years old. And now the Muslims been brainwashed completely by saying that Muhammad is the last prophet and this is the last book. But Muhammad had copied everything from the Bible and Torah. And he is not the last prophet. I am the first and I am the last. I am the last one. And this generation will not pass without seeing me on my throne.
Why did they start believing Moses? Why did they start believing Moses?
Well, they got tired that, listen, we just suffering and suffering and suffering. They finally decided, well, something will happen. Of course, he started doing some miracles, but before that, there are several people start believing him, and they said that we should give him a chance, that otherwise we're going to suffer more and more under the Pharaoh. So I am sure there are some righteous men. Every 1,000 men, there is one righteous man. So all those people were working that time, at the Pharaoh time. There are plenty righteous people. Even though they were doing the labor work, there are plenty righteous people. They probably come forward, the elderly righteous men, and say, look, we rather join with him or we suffer. So, so finally they believe him. And watch my videos. Watch my previous videos. Put thumbs up. Write me a comment if you don't understand. Ask me a questions. If I don't give you better answer than your rabbi, then you don't write me and don't talk to me. But if I give you the wisely answer, then write me. Think about it. Tell about it. Let everybody know that Moshiach is on the earth. Do not lose your hope. Everything is, God have said, that is coming to pass very soon. It's not going to go without finish this work. So please call me, let me know. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.